Hi Cancer, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and Cancer, this is going to be a general reading for September 2024. So before I do my reading for you, I have to tell you this really short story about the significance of the neon green dragonfly that you might have seen when you clicked on my video. And this was a picture that was sent to me from my daughter about 2 weeks ago. I looked at it and we exchanged a few words on it, and I'll get to those words in a minute, but I put it away and it was like, for some reason, it was like, I'm not looking at this. And I know better, and I think she knows that she sent it to me for a reason, because she knows that I'm interested in spiritual animals, and in particular ones that are kind of random and odd and show up out of nowhere. And I mean, I think you'll agree with me that this is an incredible picture. And so, my ego self would have said to me, it means nothing. It's meant for her. She's the one that spotted it. But the thing is here, she sent it to me. And I'm sure I was probably the only person she sent it to, because she knew I would have been interested in it. And so when I sat down to think about a reading for you the other night, the picture of that neon green dragonfly came to me, and I'm like, okay, that was the intuitive nudge that I got. I need to look at this picture again. And so I looked up, the first thing I did was I looked up our conversation that my daughter and I had on Messenger. The first thing she said to me was, look at this guy, I spotted him. And when I looked up the significance of the dragonfly as a spiritual animal, actually, what I did was I looked at the story of the dragonfly, and what it takes for them to get here on this earth, and before we can actually see them. And so they have this incredible metamorphosis, this incredible transformation of going from this water-dwelling nymph insect to this adult flying thing that we see around. And as an adult, they only last about 1 to 2 weeks typically, but they can last up to 6 to 8 weeks. So the fact that she spotted him was incredible. I have never seen a neon green dragonfly. And when you look at this picture, I mean, it looks fake. And that was my reaction. It looked fake. And I said, touch it. And because I thought it was like a kid that had stuck it to, a post or something. And to be honest with you, that was my belief. And it almost still is, because it looks so real. I mean, so fake. So much of it has, these pearly eyes, and the wings have like almost like this, it looks like it's gold plated or something. And the fact that it's neon green, I had to look up, Googled if there's such a thing as a neon green dragonfly. I mean, it's like this illusion. It looks fake, but it's real. And then when I asked her to touch it, her response was, ooh, no. And that was huge significance for me, because what is it about ourselves that we believe to be true, but it's a real illusion, because underneath it all, it's fake. And we're afraid to look at it, to dig it out and look at it and see, what is it about this that is not real? And so there was my reading for you. I was going to do a reading, and I'm going to call it Moving Beyond the Illusion. So the first thing I want to look at in your reading is, what false idea or belief about yourself that you need to become aware of. And you might not even know, because sometimes it has that, ooh, I don't want to look at it. Because, we walk around with masks and we believe that this is who we are. But when we start to dig at it, it's not really who we are. It's something usually that people told us about ourselves, and we've grown up to believe this is who we are. And so in the second part of the reading, I'm going to do some shadow work. And so I'm going to look at what shadow aspect is driving or impacting this illusion that you have about yourself. So it's going to dig up something from childhood that probably, you've learned about yourself and you continue to believe it. And so if you're not familiar with those two terms, shadow or shadow work, I'm going to leave a really good video that I've done on my other channel called Carol Cares. And it's called My Powerful 4-Step to Shadow Work. And it's all about facing your own shadow. And I really walk you through how I have faced and continue to face my own shadow intensively so I can heal my own childhood trauma. And then in the last part of the reading, I'm going to look at, how can you begin to heal this shadow aspect that's coming up for you so that you can move beyond this illusion and heal yourself. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I sat down and put together this reading, I said, well, you know what? This has something for me. She sent it to me 2 weeks ago. And so what I did was I had to look at, in the last 2 weeks, how have I been healing, or what do I need to look at that, what illusion of myself do I need to move beyond for personal growth? Because the color green is all about personal growth and healing and transformation. And sure enough, that's what I've been doing. And so I know that this had a lot to do with me and my own healing journey, of course. It always does when I do these readings. And so I hope that this has a lot to do with you, and you let me know below if you resonate with the reading that I'm going to do for you right now. Before I begin, I just want to let you know that my personal readings are being offered right now. I have a link in my comment section in my description box, and so I'm offering them until September 15th on discount. So I have moved the date up. It was originally September 1st. So if you're interested in a reading, just click on the link and it'll take you to my Yellow Cardinal Tarot page on my website that I have. And there are about 6 readings there that you can choose from. So they're different prices. If you've never had a reading before, it's a neat experience because it's geared towards you, right? So it's not going to be a general reading at all. So let's begin your reading. I'm going to, let me see. I'm going to start off with the Animal Guides Tarot from Radleigh Valentine, since we are looking at, kind of have a theme of spiritual animals, insects going on here. I'm going to clarify that with the Rider-Waite deck, and then I'm going to pull a Spirit Animal Pocket card for you, and it's from Colette Baron-Reid's Oracle deck, and I've already pulled the Dragonfly actually for someone, so because it is in there, so that's kind of cool. And before I lay out your reading, I just want to say, before I forget about this, that you have the Queen of Wands here as an overriding energy for your reading. And this is a card that I picked for you from your yearly reading. I put them out in January 2024. And they're in my description box if you want to have a look at it. So the reading that I pulled for you, Cancer, was the Queen of Wands. And the Queen is the feminine side of us. We all have a feminine and a masculine side. It has nothing to do with our gender. And she takes on these feminine qualities, and one of them is the wand. And so she is very much the side of us that knows our creative purpose, what we're meant to do, what direction we're supposed to take our life in. And it could be something just as simple as putting yourself first for once and doing what you want to do. So that's kind of the overriding energy. We're going to see how that's going to get tied into your reading today. So let's begin with the Animal Guides Tarot. And I'm going to ask the tarot just for one card for each section. Sometimes it'll spit out a couple, but I really want just one. So let's start off with, nothing turned up here. What false idea or belief about yourself do you need to become aware of right now? What does Cancer need to become aware of? What illusion is coming up here for them? false belief do they have about themselves? Oh, okay, there's one. And then I'm going to just take that one for... You have the kiwi, which is the 6 of earth, or the 6 of pentacles in reverse. Okay. What shadow aspect is driving or impacting this illusion? Okay, I'm going to pick this one because it fell first. And I'm going to say it's the Queen of Air. Now, it did turn around a few times, so I will put it... I mean, it kind of sort of landed finally upside down in reverse, so we'll see what that is. The Queen of Air. And so that is the second queen that you have showing up here for yourself. And this time the Queen of Air is the Queen of Swords. And you got, that was the leopard, by the way. I like to read the animals that are on the, you know, they might mean something for you. And then how can I begin to heal the shadow aspect in order for me to move on beyond? So how can you start to heal here? And oftentimes that's the big question, right? How do I heal this? You know, I can sit here and tell you about it, but how do you heal it? So the tarot will give you some advice here. And so let's have one card here from the tarot. Not quite sure. We have 2, but I'm going to take the one that has turned over, and it's the Chariot card. And that is the Arabian Horse. Okay, I'm kind of strict on what I want to, just wanted one card at the top. Otherwise it just gets too many. Okay, so I have pre-shuffled these, but I'll give these just another shuffle here. All right, so Tarot, can you tell me some more about this 2 or 3 cards to clarify the 6 of Earth, 6 of Pentacles? 2 to 3 cards here. Oh, I got them all here. Okay, so you have the Lovers, Page of Wands, and the Death card in reverse. Coming out as clarifies for your 6 of Pentacles. How about this Queen of Air, please? The shadow aspect that's driving this illusion. 2 more cards, please. Oh, flipped up. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Wasn't sure it was going to do that. And then 1 more card, please. Too many. There's like 3 cards there. Let's see if 1 more will come out. There we go. 9 of Wands. Okay, Chariot card. 2 to 3 cards, please. Tell me more about the Chariot. Okay. You have the Fool in reverse. You have a few cards here. You have 4. The Emperor in reverse. 7 of Wands in reverse. And the 10 of Pentacles. All right, so I have your Oracle card deck here. Try not to forget that. If I do, I will go back and put it in, which I've had to do already a couple times. I think you'd remember, but there's just too much to remember here. Okay, So we talked about the Queen of Wands being that overriding energy. So let's look at right now what false idea belief about yourself do you need to become aware of. So you begin with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, which is the Six of Earth here. The Six of Pentacles, first of all, my sixes in my deck have this duality to them. So it's like on one hand, it looks like it's something, but on the other hand, it's really this. And the Six of Pentacles deals with, in the Rider-Waite, you have, this beggar doling out some coins to these two beggars. And I often look at this as, if you feel like you are worth 3 coins, you will get 3 coins back. So it's that whole idea of what you feel you are worth is what will come towards you. And I mean, there is a lot of truth to that, right? And a lot of times there's different parts of us that will call different energies towards us. And, people will show up in our space and sort of like that sort of type of person will repeat. And we can't understand, why am I calling in that same person? Because there's something usually that's behind that. And so I'm seeing here that there is right now something that is showing up for you in your life where, and maybe you don't see it because there's a resistance here to looking at it. It's in reverse. And so there is I think a pattern or something with you that there are certain people, like I just said, that may be showing up in your life and you're not sure why the same types of people are showing up in your life. So it really is a question of your worthiness and believing that, you can do this, or believing that you are worth or you're deserving of something, and that's in reverse. So there's something here where you're not feeling maybe that you're deserving of something or you're not worthy of something, but we're going to clarify it with these 3 clarifiers, and then I'll get a little bit more as to what this actually means. You have the Lover's card coming in right after it. And the Lover's card is a major arcana. It's a universal force here. And, it looks like these 2 individuals, it's called the Lovers. And in no way or shape, form, or I'm going to tell you that there's a lover coming in for you, because that would be a little bit dangerous, wouldn't it? And but you look at the masculine and the feminine here, and this is what this card is about. You have a feminine and a masculine figure. The feminine figure is looking up. And the masculine figure is looking straight ahead. And so the feminine figure actually looks up towards, the universe. And that's where the feminine gets her intuition from. It is a quality from the feminine side. And she represents the unconscious, and the male is the conscious part of us. And the Lover's card is a joining of those 2 parts to us. And so I'm seeing here where there is a call for you to start to become aware of, we all sort of know our masculine side of ourselves, because that is our ego self, and that is really the one that drives all our behaviors. But there's a call here to become aware of this other part of yourself, which is the feminine side to all of us, and it has nothing to do with gender. But the feminine has these beautiful qualities that we have, and you're being really asked to become aware of what these feminine qualities are. And I think throughout this reading, you might start to get in touch with that. You have the Queen of Wands, and very interesting, you end up getting the Page of Wands. And we talked about, I said I'd refer back to this. The Queen of Wands is the feminine aspect to ourself, and she is the one that knows our true purpose. It is the side of us, the feminine side of us, that is that creative part of us that knows what purposeful direction we're supposed to go into through our intuition, through our inner guidance. And so you have a Page of Wands here. And whenever a page shows up in the deck, it is an inner child of ours. Now, mainstream psychology likes to say we have one inner child. I've been on this journey for 7.5 years intensively, and I can tell you that we have more than one inner child. And so in this deck, there are 4 of them. And it's interesting that you have the Page of Wands here. That is the younger part of you, 4, 5, 6 years old, believe it or not, that knew that new Cancer, what direction you were supposed to go into, what direction you were supposed to take. And I'm wondering if that has to do with your unworthiness, where, you felt like, maybe you're feeling like there, you have some unworthiness and you felt like you weren't supposed to, or you're feeling it now, where you're feeling like, I want to go in this certain direction, but I can't do this thing I want to do because I don't deserve it. I don't feel good enough. I'm too stupid. Maybe you're getting on social media and you're comparing yourself to other people. And, but this little part of you, this is an inner child here. Our inner children that knew what direction they were supposed to go into. And if it didn't happen for a certain reason, if certain things got in the way, for some reason we were told we couldn't, we were told we weren't allowed, we were told you can't do that. Well, this is the little part of you that holds those emotions that are attached to that, that feeling of not being allowed to go in that direction, your true purpose. And it needs healing. There are emotions here that need healing around your self-worth. And this is where this card right here is coming in. There are emotions that need healing around your self-worth. And like I said, the feminine aspect is coming out here because there is a part of you that needs to realize this. And then there's this death card that comes in reverse here. What does this mean? The death card is in reverse, but in an upright position, the death card talks about having to let people go, or having to let things go in our life, but there's a resistance to doing it. So I almost feel like there is something or someone that's blocking you from doing what you want to do. And in order to do that, you need to let someone go or let something go. And so that you can finally, put yourself first and move into that direction and find out, what it is you're meant to do, or what you're meant to go towards. Because I think you're feeling it. There's something here, but there's something it's a general reading. There's something blocking you, if it's a person or something that's blocking you from going in the direction you want to go into. And there's a lot of unworthiness here that you're feeling. That's blocking you from taking this step of doing this. And so where does this come from? Like, what's driving, what shadow aspect here? Something from your childhood, something from your adolescence is driving this, driving this unworthiness and this inability to be able to put yourself first, and maybe, let go of something or someone in your life that needs to leave. And you start off with the Queen of Air here, and the Queen of Air is here again. It's this feminine aspect to herself, and it's the Queen. She's the Queen of Swords, and she is the Queen of the Sword is all about our authenticity and who you are, and another feminine aspect to ourselves is our authenticity of knowing who we are. And being able to take our life in that direction. So in your shadow is this feminine aspect of yourself, of knowing who you are. We don't know what sits in our shadow because those are all the things that we've repressed about ourselves. I mean, you could be, for example, an incredible artist, but you were told when you were younger, that, you can't draw, whatever you were told, and you were discouraged from going that route. You'll never make money from it, or whatever it was. And so we pushed that away, and we would have shoved that down and repressed that about ourselves because someone else said they didn't like it. And so we think that, maybe they're right. Maybe, it's the truth. But she holds the truth. This part of us holds the truth. In our shadow is our truth, but it's in reverse here. And so that tells me here that, when the Queen is in reverse, it tells me that there's a level of hopelessness. There's a level of maybe anger, because anger hides, some of our grief. It's a secondary emotion, and grief will come behind that. It defends against the grief because, we fight our emotions and feeling our grief and feeling this hopelessness. But it's sitting here because it's in reverse here. And so I'm imagining there was something in your childhood, without even looking, that made you feel quite hopeless here, maybe even angry when you were younger, because, here's the Three of Wands, and that's this individual. It's the Wands again, taking your life into direction. You knew what you wanted to do when you were younger. Maybe you still know what you wanted to do. If you don't, it's in your shadow. There's a part of you that knew what you wanted to do. There was a direction that you wanted to go into. But something happened here with this Four of Pentacles here. And the Four of Pentacles in an upright position speaks about attachment, things we hold on to, right? Things we hold on to. Very interesting, you're being asked to let go of something or let go of someone. Because there's some attachment issues or abandonment issues that are sitting in your shadow. Right in the middle of your shadow is the card that I see that explains why you can't let go or walk away here. Because there's some abandonment issues that you have in yourself as a child, that are attachment issues that you need to heal when someone walked away from you. And there could be so many meanings around that. And then the Nine of Swords comes, or the Nine of Wands comes in, more wand energy, more direction, And this one is, it tells me when I see it in your shadow that this individual has been through a lot. See this bandage on his head? He's been through a lot. And so I think when you were younger, when this abandonment or this attachment issue happened, it caused a lot of pain. You've been through a lot. And so this has to heal. You need to heal the emotions. You need to get back into the body, because the body is where we have all of our emotions. And that is the feminine aspect to ourselves. That's where all our emotions are. All the emotions that are connected to this attachment issue here, they need to be healed. They need to be felt in order to heal. And once you start getting back into your body and starting to feel some of these emotions, you're going to find out, exactly what it is that you wanted to do and you couldn't. You're going to find it, and you're going to know exactly what you need to do here. So let's look at, where do you begin with this? How do you heal this? I told you a little spiel here, but I'm going to look at what the tarot says here. So the Chariot starts off here as your first card. The Arabian horse here. So, what's the Chariot card? It's number 7. 7 in my deck, it's a major arcana card. 7s are like this introspective card, going inwards. You see these two horses here. I don't even know if they're being guided by any charioteer here. They're not really moving. It looks like they're just sitting in the chariot. And maybe they're even being pulled. They're definitely not, moving anything. And I think for a long time, when the Chariot comes up is how you can start to heal this. The Chariot, when I see the Chariot card, it reminds me of, our ego self, and how we can, for the longest time, try to control our situation with our head. Maybe you're very much in your head and you're trying to control everything with your head. Our emotions are not in our head. We can create so many different stories in our head. It's incredible. Ego self can do that to us. Our emotions are inside our body, right? And so the Chariot card talks about movement, but it doesn't talk about physical movement anymore. It's not about, it's not about us trying to control things and trying to get control of things. It's about going back in your body, going in there and finding out, trying to find out, what are these emotions that I need to get to? What do I need to heal here? What sort of emotions are around this abandonment, this attachment issue that's associated with this? Because we're not going to move here. We're going to stay stuck where the chariot is right here if we don't go inwards and start to feel. Because we can't heal until we feel. We can't. The Fool card comes in underneath the Chariot card. And the Fool card doesn't come often in my deck. And when it does, I mean, it can come anywhere. And so when it comes, you need to pay attention to it, because it's the card that's just like right on the edge. It's almost like the universe is going to take you and push you off this cliff, because you are so ready. You are so ready to deal with this, to go inwards and start to deal with this pain from childhood, from this attachment, this abandonment issue that you've been carrying around for far too long in your shadow. And the Fool card comes in as, it's time to take that leap of faith. It's time to trust that the universe has your back. That's what this is saying. But it's in reverse. And so that tells me that I know there's a hell of a lot of fear that's preventing you from taking that deep dive into these emotions. It's very normal. The fear is that ego part of you. And I'm going to, here's the Emperor card. And because the Emperor is number 4, a major arcana here, for a masculine force for us. And it is the card. It's the card that comes right behind the Fool. And it's the card that's telling you, like in upright position, the Emperor card talks about the rules of society, what things you should do and shouldn't do. And so there's a part of you that's telling you, don't dare touch those emotions. Don't touch those. You shouldn't feel like, and it comes from our upbringing, right? And we're taught so much not to touch emotions. And the Emperor's coming in here, and it's in reverse, because we need to question. When the Emperor is in reverse, we need to question, what are those things you're telling yourself about going inwards, going into our body and starting to feel? Like, what sort of things have you been told besides, that's a dangerous thing, that's bullshit, don't go there, don't feel your emotions? Like, what have you been taught about feeling your emotions? And I think there's a part of us that thinks these emotions are going to eat us alive, And I can see here with the seven of Wands. I saw the next card and I'm thinking in my head, what's going on here? And this is probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. In an upright position, the 7 of Wands, this individual reminds me a lot about me and my own journey. When 7.5 years ago, when I got into intense therapy for my complex trauma that I didn't know I had, I knew there was something wrong with me. And so I searched and searched all my life, and I went to many therapists, and nobody could help me until I found the right one. Still have her, and probably will for a long time. And she was the one that started to help me feel my emotions and feel what I was covering up and what was associated with all of this. And this is a card of feeling validated, feeling supported by people around you, right? But in this particular case, as you can see, this individual is not supported and not validated by people around them. They are, in fact, trying to take this individual off their pedestal and trying to bring them back down. And that's exactly what happened to me when I started to heal. My family didn't like it, and they tried to pull me back down. And so I can see here that you need to look at who in your vicinity is trying to pull you back down. Who doesn't want you to heal? Who's not supportive? Who's not validating of your healing? Because you did get the Death card at the beginning, and we did talk about that there are some things or some people that you need to let go of. But I know there's a huge resistance to doing that. And the universe again is saying you need to trust. You need to trust that this is going to be okay. And the universe is there for you. And for some reason, maybe the Emperor card is also saying to you, he's He's the one that makes the rules of society, and maybe he's saying, in the case, I'm going to give the case of my own situation where I, at one point in my journey, I had to end my 30-year marriage. The religion that I followed at the time said, no, you don't do that. I mean, you marry till death, right? You stay married till death. And something like that, where that was a rule for me that I was allowed to break. But it took a while for me to get there. It took me 30 years to do it, right? So it was just something that I had in my head that I learned when I was very young that I wasn't allowed to do that. So start to look at, what sort of things are you telling yourself that you're not allowed to do, you shouldn't do, and you're not going to be supported. These people are not going to be supported. They're not going to support you. There are people that will not support you and will not validate you. And then you end with the Ten of Pentacles. And this is an interesting card. When it comes up in my deck, it's really a generational card. It speaks about generations. It speaks about things that are handed down to us. This is the Kabbalistic tree of life, this formation here. And it's from the Jewish culture, and it speaks about wisdom, great wisdom. We study it to find great wisdom about where we came from, who we are, and it's a card for me of generational trauma. What sort of things were handed down to you? What sort of trauma? What sort of belief systems? And we need to start to look at that and question that, because there's so many emotions that are associated with that. And that's how we start to begin to heal, is to look at, question a lot of things here. I mean, you're being asked to question, what are you being told? What sort of belief systems were you being told about what it is you want to do, about letting go of these people? And you're also being asked to, what kind of generational trauma do you have that's related maybe to this attachment issue, this abandonment issue? So there's a lot here that, you've been left to think about here. And there is, we have our queens on the table, a lot about getting back into your body and a lot about emotions here. And so before I draw this card, and I'm remembering to draw it, so again, if you are, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I think I'm going to leave you with some videos on, I think grounding is very important for you to learn how to get back into your body so you can start feeling. Grounding is very important for you right now. And I'll pull a card for you right now, and remember that, I can't remember if I talked about it at the beginning, but about, if you want a personal reading from me, I am offering them until September 15th at a discount of 10% off. So that's available to you in the comment box description. You can just go on there and look and see what's available if you're interested. And so let's pull and end this with an animal spirit card here for Cancer. Might clarify sometimes a little bit, add to what's going on here. I'm going to take this one right here. You have the vulture spirit. Nothing is wasted. And so let me see. I'll read a bit about what it says. Nothing is wasted. What seems hideous has its own beauty. And the recycling the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted. For nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial. You are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talismans that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. Don't know if I said that word right. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed and reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that you are dreaming into being. Wow. So I just want to read a couple questions here. That it says, do you wish you could run away from your past or deny your mistakes? Not so fast, says Vulture Spirit. You've gained something valuable from the experience. Let your grief or anger move through you, and soon your emotions will transform. For you will come to see that you have learned and grown. I think that's a fantastic oracle card that was left for you, and I'll leave it up to you to define what this means for you, but I think it really relates to a lot of points I've already made in this reading. So take care, Cancer, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.